The ethics codes were codes that were adopted from the Tennessee School Board Association. These ethics codes are not any state law, local law. They're no law. It actually says it's a guide for school boards to use these ethics.
I will represent at all times the entire school community and refuse to represent special interest in partisan politics.
By posting on his official Wilson County School Board Facebook page that he is against gender-affirming treatments and painting them as experimental, he is propping up right-wing talking points and an anti-transgender agenda. Personal medical decisions taking place outside of school grounds are not something in which the board has ever been involved, nor should they ever be involved.
As we go on and talk about this, isn't the place for me to speak about that type of thing. Like my Wilson County school, we say it's official, but the Wilson County School District has no ties to it. It's not an official Wilson County School District. It's an official Joseph Padilla page. One of the ethics says to look after student safety, look after and to make sure that any decision that we make is not going to affect them long term. That's how I interpret it. So for me to do that, I saw no problem.
Was you using that as an official school board member website?
I guess you would have to define official, yes. If the sports team, if Green Hill won a football game, right, I put it up there. But that doesn't mean I'm partisan to Green Hill. It's, I didn't cross any lines for anything. So, that's what I don't know if that.
But it is or was your Wilson County, like your Wilson County School Board Zone 4
yeah, I have my own personal page, and there was a differentiation. There were 2 pages.
So this procedure that you laid out for us, we are to take in fact, correct?
Correct.
Not opinion, not hearsay.
That's right.
I'm struggling to determine what's fact, what's opinion, or what's hearsay.
I understand what you're saying, Kim, about fact and opinion, but it is a fact that Mr. Padilla posted some of these things on what we're considering his official school board page. It is a fact that he gave Miss Moore's number and name to the TV station. So those things we do know are facts. They're not opinions. We do know that those things did happen. We have the evidence of that.
Mr. Padilla took office in September. Now, whether some of you folks sitting out there not think about this or care anything about this, but you don't learn everything within a month. If Joe was indeed using it as his official site, then he did violate that policy. That it was probably, wasn't the right thing for him to have done.
I agree. If he used his official school Facebook page, then he did violate the policy for that use. Now, I will go further to say that I don't know if it's an ethical violation.
Because whatever we decide is going to set a precedence. And so whatever we say, if we have a Facebook page, we have a personal page, we're going to be held to those same accountability. So I still struggle with opinion, and that these are difference in opinions. And yes, it may have been posted on a school board page, but are we not entitled to elaborate on our opinions? Just to clarify, ethical based off of the policy that we have, correct? Policy 1.6.
That's your options, Kim. Again, as I said, they didn't define ethical and unethical for us. I sure wish they had, but they didn't.
I will concur with Ms. Lynn that I don't see that there's an ethical violation.
Okay, on the one I will represent at all times the entire school community and refuse to represent special interests and partisan politics. And please, nothing from the audience. We're going to dismiss that one.
I know there's some confusion over the policy definition versus the ethics definition. Is that in the policy manual, just because it might help me know moving forward what applies here or not? No? If not, I'll just move forward with mine. Or, for multiple partisan posts he made on his now deleted Facebook page that he had established specifically for his role as a school board member. The screenshots included congratulating Governor Lee on his re-election and Andy Ogles on becoming our new congressman, further stating Ogles will make a great congressman, including a picture of the two of them together. He also, for some reason, weighed in on Republican victories in other states. He congratulated Sarah Sanders and commented that Arkansas did a great job, along with the graphic stating, "I'm with Sarah." And he congratulated Governor Abbott of Texas on his re-election while mocking his defeated opponent by saying O'Rourke might run for treasurer of the HOA next. He posted the congressional vote results specifically for Wilson County, showing Ogles' wide lead over other candidates, and wrote, "Hopefully other counties felt the same way."
I want you to tell me where any of it says, I'm glad a Republican won or a Democrat lost, or I'm glad a Democrat won or a Democrat lost. I simply shared a picture, okay? Just because the Republicans won, that's now I'm partisan because of that. Can they read my mind? Sarah Huckabee's, I apologize. It was there. It was election night. I got caught up. I was excited. That doesn't mean I violated ethics. So
Once again, he was out there expressing his opinion. I think he's gained some knowledge over the last few months at, where he knows that he's got to be very careful in what he says and what he does whenever he's repping himself as a school board member. School boards are political now.
Should he have put it on his Zone 4 page? Probably not. Dismiss. Ms. Snyder, dismiss.
This is going to be dismissed. My ethics complaint was the same situation as the previous speaker regarding the events of November the 8th and Mr. Padilla's official school board page on Facebook. The board adopts this code of ethics as recommended by the Tennessee School Boards Association as a guide to its members as they provide educational leadership for the youth of our state. So if I incorrectly have assumed that what I was reading was a code of ethics, it is because it says so on your landing page. And if you do not want to use it as a code of ethics, perhaps you should rephrase that for the future.
if you look at my official, which you guys keep bringing up, official Wilson County School Facebook page, I'll have to reactivate it, but there's a disclaimer right there, and it says, these are my thoughts and my opinions, okay? So if you're confused and thinking I'm representing the school board, it says it right there. Is there any other piece of information besides November 8th during an election where I am posting all this Republican stuff on these pages? No.
So if there's something there that's making people think that this kind of stuff is unethical, then I'd say we need to put some language in there that would clearly define what is and what isn't.
On election night, several posts were made under his Facebook account congratulating several election winners and making disparaging comments about others. I immediately was upset by this post, noting that it is not in the right mind of a school official to post these things on a school Facebook page. The violation here is not that he posted posts on one party or another, but that he posted it in the first place. You are not supposed to be representing partisan politics as a school board member.
This is not organic. This didn't happen on its own. This was something that was contrived. And if it's organic, if I do something wrong, please hold me accountable. But when you get together and contrive and you look for something that ain't there, you know, we're talking about an election on November 8th and I congratulated somebody. That means I'm unethical. That means I can't represent the school board because I say that out loud. And if you have to think about it, like it's not an ethics violation, it's hurt feelings. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. If your feelings are, I'm sorry. That's what I'm guilty of. I'm not guilty of violating ethics.
I agree that there should not be politics where it comes to the school board. But someone in their infinite wisdom made there be politics in the school board when they made us declare parties at the last election.
Same song, just a different verse.
Dismiss.
He clearly stated that he is representing the individuals who elected him and that that is his responsibility to be accountable to that group. He was addressing ethics complaints that have been filed against him by stating, "I think that once the whole story gets out, you're going to understand more about me, but more about how people view people like me, and the people like me are you, the ones that supported me getting elected." So I think that some of these ethics complaints aren't just labeled at me, but I think they are labeled towards this community. This is divisive and perpetuating culture war in our community by telling those who elected him that they are under attack by others.
I made the video not in terms of us against them, or they're going to attack us, or they're going to attack them. But hey, you know, there's a large constituency. I got elected. Okay, people voted for me. In that video, it's me. I'm just simply trying to explain that these things that they're accusing me is not what's happening. I am under attack. I am. Okay, not the community. I am. All right. And so when I said that, hey, there are a lot of people that are attacking me, and I represent the community, right? All of it. So they're attacking me. I never said they're attacking me, but that's what they're doing. They were letting people run around and make these things up about me and perpetuate it. It just attacked my character even more.
Ms. Hyder, dismiss.
Actively campaigning to remove these stickers and flags. In his Channel 2 News interview, he said they should be taken down. This topic has yet to go through the process of policy review or full board discussion, but he has clearly made up his mind. He said up multiple times too that the voters have asked for this. This is why they put him in. So he already has made up his mind on this topic. He even basically told people to stop. He's like, "Do you understand this process? I'm simply representing the people who voted for me and what they want accomplished. I highly encourage everyone to comprehend how the process works, to alleviate wasting all of your emotions on me."
If you want to talk about equality and equity and being the same, if you don't think putting a sticker or a certain flag raises a group above another group, then I don't know what to tell you. Talking about, accusing me of representing a special interest group. But when you do that, could that be admitting that the stickers and flags are in fact political? Because special interest groups don't just go after willy-nilly things, they go after political things. So to me, those advocating for it, they're the real violators of the ethics. They're the ones that are treating children different. They're the ones that are putting one group above another. Our public schools are not a place to have, to have the over-sexualization and the political flags and the special interest groups coming in that are against Wilson County's values. So,
I mean, there are many times that somebody might tell me something and I might think something, but then when I get here and listen to all the arguments and all the discussion, I might change my mind.
At that time, he was just trying to feel his way into the position that he had just taken. And there were things that he probably didn't realize that he couldn't do. I see no violation.
Yeah. I agree. Dismiss. All right. Motion to dismiss.
Mr. Padilla's portrayal of gender-affirming care, his repeated statements that students shouldn't have to look at something they might not agree with, that lifestyle, his claims that a sticker that marks a safe place for LGBTQ+ students is over-sexualizing students, offensive. He's referred to it in a lot of different ways. Students all add up to harassment. It is harassment to Wilson County school employees that are LGBTQ+. It is harassment to students that are LGBTQ+. It is harassment to parents and family members that are LGBTQ+. And I have to say, in addition to this, we did an open records request of his emails. We found that he also tried to disband the Glisten Club at Green Hill High School. He referred to a parent who was fighting for LGBTQ rights as Mr. Grinder, and he called it a perversion. So he obviously feels a certain way about this. He has been targeting the LGBTQ community. When he goes after GLSEN, he says that it is because it's a political group, but there's Democrats on the Hill, there's a civics group, I don't know if there's a Republicans on the Hill as well. Those are all political clubs, but he went after GLSEN, so he obviously is targeting the LGBTQ plus community in our schools, which is harassment to the entire community, because everyone is watching.
So yes, I sent an email to the director saying we need to take a look at GLSEN because they do support these things. They are a special interest. I said we need to take a look at it. And he responded. He didn't think that we could do anything because of laws and regulations, and I understood that. But what they failed to mention is in the very next email, I say, I have no problem with them having an LGBTQ group, okay? I have a problem with GLSEN because GLSEN is a special interest group.
Is the board included in policy 5.500, or is that for district employees, or does that also encompass school board members? If you need the policy. I have a copy.
It does not appear that board member is included in that. It includes employee, volunteer, third-party member, or consultant to the school system.
Dismiss on that one, Sherry.
If I was running for school board, the first thing I would do would be to study the policies and procedures in place. Mr. Padilla, when was sworn in under God, that he would uphold these policies. Additionally, Mr. Padilla signed an ethics acknowledgement of the ethics policies well before these issues. On October 10th of 2022, Mr. Padilla shared to his school board Facebook page the attached article published by the Tennessee Conservative on July 20th, 2022. This article, written by the Wilson County School student, I'll leave that blank, makes disparaging remarks about teachers, principals, and school administration. Additionally, Mr. Padilla has a personal friendship with this student. By involving himself in this matter and sharing this article to his official Facebook school board member social media, Mr. Padilla joined in disparaging Wilson County schools, its teachers, and administration. Mr. Padilla cast our schools in a negative light and did so in a way that our schools cannot easily defend due to student confidentiality. That teacher cannot come out and say anything against this student because of confidentiality. Our school district cannot say anything about this student because of confidentiality. There was nothing in this article that promoted Wilson County schools, quite the opposite. Sent an email to News Channel 4 producer, where he also shared the same article, disparaging our schools.
It does not mention anything other than a Tennessee school. So you can infer all you want and think all you want about who I'm talking to, but what do I do? What do I do? Do I go to the director and say, hey, I think this paper is about this person, we should do something? No. Okay, this media person who she asked for information. Right? She wanted to know what was going on in the school, so she may saw another video or she saw something. She contacted me. So I responded, hey, take a look at this. Maybe it'll give you a better reference. And what I was referencing is this article from an op-ed from a Tennessee high school student.
1.106 is what we're using to determine an ethics complaint. What's being referred to is policy 1.1061. But that's not what we're here to determine, correct? We're only here on this policy.
Well, I don't know what they're, if there's a
policy.
specific complaint about violating a policy, 1.1061, yes, you could consider that. Just like you have considered in the first one, there were 4 or 5 different policies listed. So yes, you can consider that. Now again, does it rise to an ethical violation? I don't know. And keep in mind, section 1.106, the very first sentence says adopts this code of ethics as recommended by TSBA as a guide to its members. Okay?
And again, you just shared an article that was already published.
Yes.
So you were just sharing information.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to say dismiss.
So I'm in agreement with my fellow board members here, because if I shared it, I would assume that it was a Wilson County school, but it could have been somebody in Texas that you were sharing this op-ed from. So again, like Mr. Tomlinson said and Ms. McGee, maybe it was in poor taste, again, to put it on your school board site, but I don't feel that you violated any ethical thing here.
And I think it's important for the record to indicate too, that Mr. Padilla has admitted that he did have a conversation with the director of schools concerning those type of things. And I see Mr. Padilla nodding his head correctly. Is that not correct, Mr. Padilla? Thanks, sir. Thank you.
At the October 3rd, 2022 school board meeting, it was brought to my attention that Mr. Padilla had directly involved himself in an ongoing Title IX matter. Wilson County Schools is the complainant in the matter and represented by the school board education attorney, Mr. Mike Jennings. Mr. Padilla directly corresponded and aided the respondent, who was also represented by counsel in an ongoing case. Mr. Padilla placed himself in a position of conflict of interest and violated Policy Code 1.1061, Article 6, Section 2.
So we're jumping to conclusions real quick here, all right? If you read the initial complaint on this, she's saying that I did not inform the director. Well, obviously, it was wrong. I didn't inform the director. That's illegal. That book, so Miss Bush, right? Miss Bush sent that letter about me having to recuse myself. Guess what? I did not read that email, so I had no idea when I came in here that was even an issue. Okay? So I did nothing wrong. If I had read that letter, like I said, ignorance is not an excuse, but I recused myself. I didn't vote. So whatever process had to happen, I did that because I did not vote. I'm not going to use that I was new in how I handled this, because if a mom called me tonight, the same thing, and she wanted to go get those records, I would let the director know. And I didn't know that me taking someone to get records would be a violation, because they don't give us the records right there. I would do it again, but, hey, the director I'd be more precise to make sure he knows what he's doing, because I didn't think that would be a
I
problem.
always have people call us with a complaint, an issue, or something that they want us to solve. But it is incumbent on us to turn that over to Mr. Luttrell's office and his staff to take care of that. It's not our place to get involved. Where you said some of you didn't do your job, and you did not fully support the administrative authority of the director of schools to properly fulfill his professional duties. I do see there may be merit in that complaint.
Need to recuse himself, and he did that. So that was probably enough punishment for him right there on that one, because he didn't get a chance to take a vote one way or the other.
All right. Motion to dismiss. Is Becky Walker here? I think she's not going to be here tonight.
In that news story, a picture of my classroom door, which had been decorated by my Glisten Club members for homecoming that week, was flashed on the screen 2 different times and depicted both my room number and my first and last name. While I have not confirmed that Mr. Padilla provided the picture to News Channel 4, the news story is about him, contains an interview with him, and includes pictures of the inside of our building, which he has access to, while the news program itself does not. Within 24 hours of the aired interview, Mr. Padilla posted a website link on his school board member Facebook page in which the salaries of teachers could be searched. On this website, I not only found my salary, which I know is public record, but also a link to search my home address. Now, I realize that my salary and address can be found online, but I cannot seem to fathom why a school board member is connected to putting my full name on the evening newscast, casting both me and a group of students I support in a negative light, while simultaneously making it easy for the community to access my personal information. We have to do PD every single year, the same one, about bloodborne pathogens and our suicide training. And in that, they say that the most vulnerable population is our LGBTQ population, because they are most likely to be suicidal or commit suicide. And I am showing up to help give these kids a space to talk and get support from one another. And yet I was targeted on the news for being that space. It hurts me for those kids too, because those are the kids that are most vulnerable. Why would you want to go after them?
If anyone's talked with the news before, you'll understand that the news is going to carve out what they want to show and what they want to do. I provide the news with a lot of different things, but it never gets aired. That's not up to me what they prepare, what they do, right? So if there's an ethics complaint against me from Ms. Prince, I would ask her to put one on the Green Hill High School website, whoever runs it, because they're the ones that publish all these pictures. Her name is everywhere on that website, so are all the other people. I didn't take the picture. It's public. It's public knowledge. It's on the website.
But my question to you, yes or no, did you provide the pictures to Channel 4?
I will have to go back.
Yes or no?
I don't know. I mean, emails that I have, I don't remember. I've sent so many, they requested so many different things. If I did, they probably would have brought it up if I did.
Okay.
I didn't break any laws by giving, public records. And then, like I said, it's a link to Truth Finder. It's not a link to anybody's address. And I would recommend that everybody here look up what their government employees are making. We're employed by you. So that was the purpose. Okay, if somebody wants me to look at some other clubs, I will. I was asked to look and see what the Glistening Club was about, and all I did was research what the Glistening Club was about. So why am I not going after the other clubs? Because nobody else has complained to me about the other clubs. So how can you assume that they're being spotlighted? They're not being spotlighted. That I do what people email and ask me to look at. That's what I do. What's it called? Is the family life curriculum? Is that what we teach here? The family life curriculum? If I find a club that's a special interest and goes about and has things that deal with abortion, which is not supposed to be talked about. If you look at the TCA codes, we're not supposed to bring those types of options out. If I see a club that supports those types of things, it's my duty to tell the director. And then once again, let's take my emails out of context, saying that I wanted to destroy her club. If you look at the next email, I specifically tell the director of schools I am not against the LGBTQ community having any club or any student having any club. But if you research Glisten, you will see exactly why constituents in the community has a problem with it, because it's not just a club. It's athletes. So we don't need those types of, in my opinion, in our impressionable minds that are 16 and younger and minors. They don't need to be, have your clubs, but we have to be very careful who leads these clubs and we're getting all of our literature stuff from.
Refer the matter to the school board body for possible public censure. If the board or body would find such warranted action, I think there's 3 or 4 things in here that probably the whole board needs to discuss and talk about.